Good morning, all. It is exactly 11 o'clock, according to our time. That will be 5 o'clock in Holland for Marius. We wanted to thank you very much for being a part of the second episode of the Coaches Corner, a free futsal coaching educational webinar brought to you by the Futsal Association of Trinidad and Tobago. We will expect our other fellow participants to join us, but for the sake of being prompt and setting a standard, we would start on time. With that being said, we want to say thank you very much to Mr. Marius Privee, who is both a football and futsal instructor at the KNVB, as well as a world coach. He will explain to you further more as regards to his many titles. He was a former under 23 women's national futsal coach for Holland, for the Netherlands, as well as assistant head coach to the men's national futsal team. Of note, the next UEFA Futsal Championship will be held in Holland, and he will also speak some more to that. So I want to say thank you to one and all for being a part of this presentation, and we look forward to seeing you all in future episodes of the Coaches Corner, held by Futsal Association of Trinidad and Tobago. Marius, is all yours.
Thank you for your introduction, Geoffrey. It's nice to be here. I'm sitting here and you are sitting there, so it's nice. So I can stay at home. I hope, good morning, everybody here. I hope you can, I can tell you something about the Dutch way of coaching and training futsal. One of our big players, number 14, it's Johan Cruyff. You see it on his shirt. And he told us they learn the most from their own mistakes, so give them the space to make mistakes. If you have seen the video from Michael Jordan, you see the same. He always say he made more mistakes than he did things okay, but he learned from his mistakes. So we have to give the young boys and girls, we have to give them a chance to make mistakes because they learn. Now I'm going to tell something from myself, I think. Yes, that's very important to turn off your microphone because it's for connecting better. When you have a question, you can ask it in the chat, maybe. I think that's the best way. We can look at the chat. I think, Geoffrey, it's possible.
Yes, most definitely it's possible. I will ensure that I continuously look at the chat while you talk.
I try to talk 15 minutes and we take 5 minutes break. So it's good to listen, and we know from the brains that it's difficult to have consequence to longer than 20 minutes to be listening very well and learn. So I take that also with me. Yeah. Now that's me. I have two balls. One is the football and one is the futsal. So it's cold in Holland. You see, I have a very good jacket for the wind and the snow or the freezing. So it was in winter, this photo I can see. It's dark and I have two balls. I've been indeed, I was national team coach under 23 men and women. So I did both, and I was assistant man. I've also coaching in the first league or Premier League, so we call it. So I've done that some years. I did a lot of futsal development in Holland. So it was my job to go to schools, and we talk with schools, and we try to make competition with schools, clubs and schools. So that's what I did. I am instructor of futsal and football. That's a good combination because when I talk with the pro clubs, we talk with Ajax and we talk with Heracles, that are pro clubs in Holland, and also with FC Utrecht. And we look what is futsal being and what is futsal doing for football. So then it's a tool. It's not the sport, but it's a tool. And we must try to make it also a very good sport. And we can use the way we want to go is with professional clubs. We have no professional futsal clubs in Holland. I'm a world coaches instructor. Now that's what Jeffrey said, that's something else than only instructing futsal, also instructing life skills. Because how can you give people trust? Now the trainer can do that by compliments. And when he gives compliments, children will be proud and they get more themselves. So that's very important. I'm married. I have 3 children, 3 older children and 7 grandchildren. I was teacher on a secondary school in Holland. That's who I am. I don't think there are questions about. Always when we started with futsal and also with football, we always started with the question, what is that? What is futsal? And that's very important to know, because when you want to train futsal and you want to coach futsal, you must know what it is. So the first thing you have to learn, what is futsal? I understand, Jeffrey told me, the most of you have done the FIFA course and they know this. But let's show you that it's very important to know what it is. And you see here what it is, the laws, the law of the games, the game resources that are winning. And then you have the structure of futsal, and that we always use. Futsal is always going about winning. And we don't know what the coaches want to do, but the game is always win. If you start a game, someone must win. It doesn't matter what you think, someone must win. And then you can take team functions, attack, switch, and defend, and that we have to know. Then we have the team. Every player and every coach has to know what are the team tasks. That's to build up, score, and to disturb and to occur goals. So when you play, you must keep this in mind. When you are a trainer, you must keep this in mind. And the team organization is something that's about the numbers you can play. But it doesn't matter what kind of team organization you do. We talk nowadays about the way you attack. So you have principles, and the principles of your team are very, can you do in every team organization. If you want to take the ball in front in the events, you can do that in a 1-1-2-1 or in a 1-2-2-2 or in a 1-1-3. It's everything is possible. It's the only way to get the ball on the side of the opponent. Then you have basic tasks. Basic tasks you must see for the team. What are the basic tasks for the team? One of the basic tasks of the team is to make it small, to make defending, to make a small group. A small group, you do that by going inside. So when you make it small, every player go inside and can defend and try to that the ball is not going in the deep, but stays on the half, and maybe they make a fault and you can get the ball. You have futsal moves, and futsal moves are with ball and without ball. And you have supporting moves. The things we see are only the moves with ball and without ball. When a player has a ball, you know he's attacking. When a player without a ball, he can also be attacking, but he can also be defending. It depends on his team has the ball. Supporting moves are, now I get all, you have very important supporting moves, but the most things you see is passing, dribbling, shooting, control the ball. That's what we see. And that must be okay. When young players started futsal and when young players started football, this is very important to learn them, because they must use this to attack or to defend. They must use it for transition. And when they have good moves, it will be okay. But if there are no good moves and there is a small space and you get the ball and you have not the control of the ball, you lose the ball. That's the way it goes. So children have to learn this very good when they are young. And then mostly it came inside. That is what you see as an individual player. You must make decisions. When you have the ball, you must make a decision. Can I play to the player in front of me, or must I play to the player aside of me? That's a decision to make. Or must I dribble with the ball? Or must I shoot? Decision in 1 second. Smaller than 1 second, I mean. And then you have communication. That's how players work together. How do players defend together? How do players attack together? To perceive, you must timing the action. Because when I have the ball, the other player must go running away and the other player is coming in. So that must be fine-tuning. Every time when you are with the highest team, you are fine-tuning the play. Because you may expect that the top teams have players that have good moves. And then you must fine-tuning and develop game inside, and then not game inside, but scenarios. What are we doing when the opponent is doing that? That's for the top. But when the young children, you start with moves, and then you can build up the toss. That's what we do. Then we always say you have the quality of the action. The quality, that's the only thing we can make better. It must be the quality of this. Look, this is the quality of an action. You see, in the middle, it's the word passing. That's a move, that's a skill. And then you have decided, it's the moment of passing. Do it in the just moment, or is it too late? When it's too late, you lose the ball. When it's too early, your player then cannot have the ball. So the moment is very important. You can influence the moment. You can influence the speed. Have I take it 2 times? Have I take it 3 times? Or play it once? Pausing at once. And must I play fast? Direction. On which leg I have to pass? What is the leg I must pass? In what direction I play? In front or for the side? That's what you can influence. And players have to think about it and have to recognize it. It's your brains that are doing it. And you must take good position. Always, what is the position where you go stand? When you want to have the ball, you cannot stand in front. When sometimes we see young players, they run away and they're passing to the player and they don't get the ball because they take not a good position. So you see also we game inside, action with ball. It's every time. Our vision to learn futsal is when you are a young boy or a young girl, you play on the street. And when you play on the street, you learn to play football or you learn to play futsal. It's a small game. You get a lot of balls and you must try to be the best. You have a passing, you have dribbling, you learn it on the street. You have a small ball, a big ball, a great ball, no ball, you play with a little tennis ball, you play one time on the grass, you play on the artificial grass, or you play on sand, or you play on the street. It's always a different game. That's good for your brains. So you learn futsal by playing futsal. And nowadays, we see children play not on the street. We in Holland have a problem. We see a lot of children stay at home and play with computer. They play FIFA. They don't play football. And you must make a lot of hours in football to be better. So we say futsal you learn by playing futsal. So every time when you are training or you are learning people to become a better futsal player, you must play futsal. So I come back on that because it's very important for training. In futsal, if you are playing, it's always condition, technique, tactics, mental elements come always there. They are always there. They are not separate. When you play futsal, all this is together in the play. It's not separate. It's one. Yeah, that's futsal. Condition, when you play 2 against 2 or 2 against 1, you are playing futsal, 2 goals, and you play. It's very hard. It's very tough. You're tired, so you get condition. Technique, always you have the ball control. Ball control, there is a player. Where's the player? He's near you. He's farther away. He's from the right side. He's from the left side. Always you must have a good ball control. If there is nobody, if there is no futsal, and you stand against each other, it's very easy. You always can control the ball. You have to control on the right side. When the player comes here, he cannot take it. So that's very important. Very important. Tactics, awareness and decision making. Very important. What decision I make? Am I dribbling now, or am I passing now? Am I running away, or am I coming in? Where am I standing? And then we have the mental elements. The mental elements is winning. You want to win. You have to do everything for winning. So then you have to go. That's mental. And when the referee is whistling, what does it mean for me? Must I cry and say it's not right, or must I accept it and be very fast on my position? That is our vision of learning. So it started with what is futsal, what is the structure of futsal, and then we are must go into play, because now we know what is futsal. And now I can go for training with small boys, small girls, training with the people everywhere. So you can take 5 minutes now, and then I go on with the presentation. 5 minutes, it means that we are back.
You could go ahead. You could go ahead, Marius. You could go ahead. Yeah, you could continue.
Okay, then I'll take some water.
All right.
You can hear it very good. It's clear on everything.
So we ask anybody who have any questions, you could please put it in the chat. If you have any questions, we ask you to put it in the chat.
Yes. Okay. Then we have for every age, there is a youth futsal learning process. It started with under 7 and it ends under 19 nowadays. And with football, we are going to under 21 and under 23, because when you have young players, they are not coming in the first team of the club, and then they are in the level is not enough to develop again. So there's more level. In Belgium, they have in futsal, they have also under 21. So that's, I think it's very good that you have players who are not ready for the first team, they come in the second team, under 21. When you are under 7, you see there, learn to control the ball. So you want to have the players have a lot small games, very small games, 2 against 1, 1 against 1, 1 against 2 against 1 with the defender behind, with the defender in front. You have a keeper, maybe you can do it. We have no keepers. Every time they are, we started with the real keepers under 10 and not under 7. Everybody has to play and to do. Under 9, you learn to act with the ball in a target manner. They go, when they are under 7, they can take the ball from each other. And when they are under 9, they understand they have to go to the other goal. They have a direction. And then they passing more target. And when they're under 11, they go to play together. That's the age when they go more play together. Then they purposely, they know what to do and they know where to do. And when you are under 13, you learn what to do as your basic task. When you are 1, when you are 2, when you are 3, when you are 4, when you are 5, that are the numbers of the team players in the positions. And then you play 8, 3, 1. Then they know, what must I do when I am number 2? What have I to do when I'm number 3? What have I to do when I'm number 4? But when you play in another organization, you have to do more things. So you can train a lot with them. And they always have to control the ball. They always have to shooting. They always play futsal. Always. Then you can coordination of basic tasks within a team. Then when you are defender, when you are number 2, you have to attack. And then what does the number 4 do, and the number 5 do, and the number 3 do when you have the ball? What have they to do? What is their task? That you have the coordination. So it must be fine-tuning. And then you got under 17, they're playing as a team. There must be one team. And then under 19, it started with, then you have to play like a team in the competition. Then you have to win. Then there is pressure on you. Then you must learn what are important things when you are professional or when you are in the highest. So that's very important. So you see, and that's what the progress. Here we make our training shop. It are the developing skills, attack, defending, and transition. And you see, all ages have specific characters. So you must also know, what is it under 7 child? What is an under 9 child? What is he doing? Can he concentrate very well, or is he playing? Is he not listening? What is he doing? You must think from the child. That's our idea. You think from out the child. What will he learn? How is he? Now, you know, when you have a 9 child, he wants to play. He wants not to stay. He wants to listen. You must let him play. So then you are not a policeman, you are a trainer. And sometimes people became policemen because they think there's a queue for the players. They must wait, they must stand. They cannot stand. And trainers are calling, play the ball, but they don't know what to play the balls. That's the child. So you must always think about and know. You must learn about the child. What is a child of 9, under 9? What is a child? And that we do in Holland. We have all kinds of pictures and videos, and there stand what children are and what they do and how they think, because it's very important for you. Every child is honest, but the group is the same, and then you have to pay attention to every child. So this youth futsal learning process. This is the process we are going to do. This is the process you want in your club. This is also for your club. You can start this or for your, nowadays there are a lot of futsal academies or futsal schools. You can do that. It's your training impulse.
Marius, before you continue, there's a question in the chat, if I may. Can you share what are the various age group leagues for futsal in Holland? Thank you, Mr. Sheldon Seals. So I'm just going to repeat it again for you, Marius. Can you share what are the various age group leagues for futsal in Holland?
Nowadays it's very difficult because there was Corona. There's almost 2 years no futsal being played here in Holland because it was not allowed to be in the sport hall. So they may train with 5 meters. So that's very difficult to say now. But we had under 19, under 17, under 15, under 13 we had. And we had also, it was very good to see with the professional clubs, we had under 9, under 8, and under 7. So that was very good to see that they are playing with the professional clubs. FC Utrecht started the competition with a lot of teams, and we cooperated with these teams. And nowadays we see more clubs asking to do that. So you see in Spain, one of my friends of FC Utrecht is going there. They are talking with Real Betis to also futsal team. So we want to know more about developing the youth. That's the answer, I hope.
So just to clarify, you start from U7 straight up to U19 as regards to leagues, yes?
Yeah.
When it comes to these leagues, are they how long does the league actually take place for the U7, U9s? How long is a league period? Is it 1 month, 2 months? How long?
Yeah, it's under 19 is 1 year with the number 1, 2, 3, 4 going in after competition, and they must play for the final. And there's also a final, so that's under 17 and under 8 and under was mostly in winter. We have a lot of competition in winter, and that takes 4 or 6 months. Also a competition for children who want that play a year long. And what we do is we have a competition till January, and we have a competition till June. And when there are teams who win a lot, they come in the one competition, and the other teams come in the other competition. So strength is equal. Yes.
Okay, understood. So you always try to maintain balance when it comes to competencies.
The best way is to have 6 games, and then you change the competition. 6 games, so you must have a good balance, because that's the way they learn. It's better to play 0-0, very much game, than you win with 21-0. So that's not good. Then you develop not. You learn nothing.
Yeah. Mr. Collinskeen's question. We have one more question before you continue, Marius, if we may. Yeah. Thank you. Mr. Collinskeen, thank you very much for your question. I'm going to read it out now. Is it that from U15 and younger, that the focus is on technical, tactical improvement, or understanding of the player or game, and not about winning? So basically, Mr. Skeen is asking, which is more important for the U15 and younger? Is it about winning in terms of participation in the leagues and competitions, or is it more as regards the development of the player and also the understanding of the game by the player?
Yes, I understand. In Holland, we have no ranking from the 11. There's no ranking. So under 7, under 8, under 9, under 10, and have no ranking. There's no championship. There are no the stand is not on. You cannot read it. The 2-0, you cannot find it. So nobody knows something about winning. It's only going by the process. That's what the KNVB, that's our organization, wants. There are always trainers who only think it's going about winning. They are very proud when they can say, I'm champion, my under 8 boys are the best of the world. You keep that. But we try to tell everybody that all children need equal chances to develop. So we have more process than results. When you are results, it's going only by winning. You're yelling around the ground that they must do this and they must that. And when you look to the process, you look to the development of the players and the team. That's the difference. And we want the last thing, but we also see that there will always be coaches that will have a result. And then for the young boys and young girls. Yes? It's clear, the answer?
Is it clear, guys? Just want to make sure before we move on. Is that clear, Mr. Skeen? Just a quick response.
Yes, it is. Okay. Yes, it is.
Thank you very much, Mr. Skeen. All right, so you could go ahead, Marius.
I'm going on? Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes.
We have, when we try to learn, we have a training structure. That's always the same in our courses. That's also for football or for futsal. It's the same course. You see, we always try to start off with some warming up. And you need some skills in the training, so you can do the skills in the warming up. We also do with younger boys, till 14, 15, and girls. You can do all things with ball, because you have not to make warming up like the professionals. You always do it with ball, because there is they have made testosterone, so you can make them, they can do that. When you are on the street, you know, don't make a warming up. So children can do that. When you are older, then there is a standard warming up, and you can do the skills what you use in the training. Then we start the training, and there is a phase one. That's, we talk about orientation. The players are going to orientate. It's not the problem of the trainer.
Are you there, Marius, or you froze?
Okay, you're again. I'm loud. I'm okay.
Yes, you're okay. You're good to go.
Orientation. Yeah, that's important. So it's their problem. It's their problem. It's not my problem. It's their problem, and they must go find solutions, and they must make decisions. What have I to do? And then they learn better. That's what we think, and that's, we know more about the brains nowadays. So we know that's very important, that it's your own problem. So you want to work on your own problem. Then it's the number 2 phase. Then you go to exercise and learn. So you created the situation you want to make better, and then you can coach them. And you can coach them, you can tell them a lot, but don't tell a lot, tell a little, but go in the deep, make it clear for the players. So that's exercise 2. You can exercise and learn, we call it, and the most important. And you can make it difficult, more difficult, easy. You start always with something. When you see the group is taking a lot of times, you must make it difficult, more difficult. When do not score a lot, you must make it easier so they can score more. So you must always play with easy and difficult. That's also one of our things, how we learn people something. And at the end, you play a game, and when you see the game, you can look what they have learned in the game. Maybe you can start a game and you play it together, and you say, boys and girls, we are going to take off the ball on the half of the opponent, and then you can see what have they learned, and have they understand what I want. And then you start the cooling down, and in the cooling down you can talk with the players about how do you find the training, what do you like the training, what have you learned today, what will you do better next time. You can talk with the players. So I think it's a very good structure, and structure is important because players have rest, because when they don't know what you are going to do, and they become busy in their head. So I think it's very good to have this structure for your training. Now, when you are training, you are always to train to better attack, defense, and switch. And you see here a line, and the line is going upwards. That's what you want. You want to be better attack, better defense, and switch. That is why you see this line. We always say the game is give us a lot of information. The game is always what you can plan. So if we have the game on Friday, so you know you can play every Friday, you can see the game. And there in between, you can say, how are we going to play? What are my players, the abilities of the players? What kind of team organization we're going to play? What kind of team organization? What are the principles and the strategic tactics? So you see, then we go to default the play. When you want to play 8-1-3-1 and you want to play that very good, default that. You can default the line, so you can 1-3-1. But nowadays, do principles. So we say we want that there is a lot, always make one player more. So we always play on position in the field, 2 against 1. So when there is one player more, you can 1-2 play, or you can give and go play. So you must develop a style of your team. It's not 1-4-0. That's not a style. The style is movement. And how are the movements? And how are you going to move it? So that you have to develop. So therefore, you look every game, what is my style of my team? And is the style of my team better? Know the play. Do the players know do the players know what is the style of our team? Where are we working on? Where are we going to? They have to know. There must be, for you and me, it's always important that you know what are we going to do today? And where are we working to? And how will it be about 2 or 3 years? It's not 1 year. It's not I get the best players of the world. No, it's to work hard for developing the play and the style of your team. That's very important. Then you must make a match analysis. When we are with the teams, the top teams, when we are with the Dutch teams, we make video analysis. So we can see what are the players doing and what was his task and what must he do and how did he do it. And we let them tell him by himself, not I am telling, hey, you take sometimes the wrong decision. No, you make small videos and give him and say, what do you see? And what can you do better? So he is thinking about it. So it is his problem and he will be better. You can also do with children. You can also stop in the game, or stop in the game, not, but in the training, and you can show what he is doing. Now, that are always the question of the problem: what, who, where, when, which. What is going wrong? Attacking is going wrong. Who is going attacking wrong? Number 5, where on the half of the opponent, when on the moment our 3 players are on the half of the opponent, which the stand is the result on that moment is 1-2. That can be which. So you see, that's always what we are training, because that's what comes from the match analysis. You see here, TT is standing for training. So you see, here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 training for a game. That's very much. In Dutch futsal, it's mostly 2 times training. So it's not that. But we have made it because we want to have, you must also have conditional instant event. That will say you must do something that players can be longer attacking on the good way, that they can doing longer conditional defending. And always we play futsal. So you can play futsal and say all the balls are around the field, no ball is going out. When the ball is going out, quick ball back, and you play a lot of games. So they be conditional, very good, and you That's your conditional incentive. So we train always evolving play style of the team. Yeah, and then you must develop your style, and that's your style as coach, or your style as national team, or style from the club. We have, maybe Ajax, that's most, is a team what everybody knows. They have a style, and that style is in there. That's always their target with the young players till the end. They have the same style. That is very important to know. Barcelona also have a style of playing. And that's not when you get a new trainer, there's all new style. There's 2 years one style, then with 2 years other style, we say there's one style, develop the style, and that's what we are going to do. And then we're looking for the people, help the people on that way. When we find it important that, you are defending on your own half, and you find defending very important, you develop a lot of the defenders. Yes, that's your style. It's not my style, but everybody has his own style. Yeah, so you develop a style, a play style. Yes, that's very important. Other questions?
Yes, Marius, there are. So there are two actually. Mr. Seals, I will come back to your question after I deal with Mr. Maxwell, since it is for this particular slide. Mr. Junior Maxwell would have asked, how much training session should U7 to U15 do on a weekly basis? And then also for the U15 to the U19.
Yeah, if you like futsal, you can train every day. But we have no hall, we have no accommodation to train 5 times a day. But when you were young, Jeffrey, when do you play?
Well, as a youth, we played football every day once we got a chance. But in speaking to the coaches, who most of them have actually football, they have football youth clubs and football youth academies. How much times would you suggest they incorporate futsal into their training programs with along with football?
Oh, you see that way. We now that is very important to talk with football, and we talk about, we have in Holland small-sided games for football. Children are playing 6 against 6 in Holland. When you are under 6, you play 4 against 4. When you play under 7, under 8, you play 6 against 6. And when you are playing till under 12, 11 and 12, they play 8 against 8. So it's all small game, not 11 against 11. So that's all small game. You can when you are training 2 times on the field, you can do football. You can do 2 times futsal. But we also say, I have told you, differential learning has to make with the brains. You play on difference underground. So you can play on street, you can play in the hall, you can play on the grass, you can play on the artificial grass, and that stimulates your brains on other ways, so you become better. A lot of clubs are doing that on this time, and more and more. Only I think when you are with a football club, they want priority football. And when you are a futsal club, you have to do priority futsal. But that's difficult because the most players choose for football. That's everywhere the same, because they dream from millionaire. So they go to football, and football is more media. So most people like that, parents like that. So we see that. But I think when you have a football club, you can do 2 times football, 2 times futsal. It has no difference. When you have to attack, you have to do the same things. Only the balls, but the balls is very good for differential learning. So you can do with small balls. I have seen with balloons training. Yeah, you can do it all kinds of ways. So I think you must make good agreements with each other. And then you must look looking, does it work? And then you have to research every time. That's very important. But I think two times, or when you play 3 times, when you have football, you play 2 times football and you have a game, I think. 2-time training. And when you want to have the futsal in it, you have to take 1 time futsal and maybe 1 futsal game. But you play in Holland, you play small games. So it's very important to play also in Trinidad, by example, small games for the boys. And why small games? Because they have a lot of ball contact. When you have a lot of passing, you have a lot of dribbling, because when you have a small body, you have a lot of times the ball. And when you have big bodies, 11 against 11, and when you are the left in front player, maybe you have 1 time the ball in the game, and then you go home and you say, I played a good game. That was a good ball today. 1 ball. When you play 4 against 4, you have a lot of times the ball. That's the difference.
So if I may add to Mr. Maxwell's question, if it is so you suggest 2 times football, 2 times futsal, would you, let's just say a club does not necessarily have an opportunity to play on a different surface, as in a indoor facility, which most clubs will not have in Trinidad and Tobago. Do you suggest that they actually use a futsal ball when they are playing the smaller version of the game in introducing futsal techniques? Because obviously, for those who know and don't know, the futsal ball is different to a football. Do you think that is, would you suggest coaches do that as well?
Yes, I said that. Yes, it's very important. And then I said to you to make use of different balls. So you can also do with a tennis ball. It's also good. It's also very good. It's the brains, eh? You must develop in the brains. They must make lines so you become a better football player or a futsal player. So your handling, your skills must be very good. And that you do with the ball. And we have also seen with our Ajax, we played with a futsal and a football. There was always discussion, but you see when they play futsal with a futsal ball, that's really better, because you see the small boys are dribbling and not the big boys. They have difficult, because then they have to have very good skills. They must be dribbling very good. Big boys are mostly strong, defense, long, but not very technical. And the small boys come then in the futsal very good. That was nice to see when we did the research.
Another question for Mr. Collinski. Mr. Seals, I didn't forget you. I think we will address that question coming out the end, so just bear with me. And Mr. Maxwell, just type in if it is Mr. Marius would have answered your question, while I move on to the next question from Mr. Collinski. Mr. Skeen would have asked, in training, do you have players of varied technical abilities trained together, or are they grouped to match their level of ability? Excellent question, Mr. Skeen. As a matter of fact, excellent questions to all. By all.
Can you tell me again?
So Mr. Skeen is asking, in training, do you have players of varied technical abilities trained together, or are they grouped to match their level of ability?
It depends. It depends on what you want, what you are training. It depends on the age. It depends very on the age, because nowadays we are knowing, we have with football we have a program. All players must have a chance, and that's also in Norway and in Sweden. I think the project is very good. Young boys and young girls are training more small-sided games. 2 against 1, 1 against 1, 2 against 2, 3 against 2, 3 against 3, and then they develop skills. And sometimes you see it grow with 1, and then you see go down with the talent. So sometimes you can make it more difficult for the talented, with the good ability, and sometimes you can do that together. So you make groups sometimes to make the better players together, but when you close the group, the other players cannot become better more. So you must be open groups. So we call it open groups, and everybody is going to stream, and we discuss about where are we putting him, what is he doing, where is he better in, and that's a process. That's our task to look very good and to make it more difficult or less difficult. So that's sometimes we have, but you can do it together. When you have a shooting game, you can say the best player is going to shoot from 10 meters, and the players who have more difficult with shooting shoot from 5 meters. That's what you can give. And then they play the same game. And you can you can call which player must shoot from 10 meters and which player must shoot from 5 meters. Yes?
Thank you very much for that, Marius. You may continue along.
The last 10 minutes, I think.
Yeah, you're good to go. Yes.
I know. Training. Now we have 4 golden rules when you are looking to a training. Or you see a photograph of Suriname in where I've been 10 times for world coaches. To play to win, futsal real. There must always be 2 goals. Sometimes you see exercises with 1 goal and a keeper and a defender and 2 attackers, and the attackers can score, but the defense cannot score. So the intention of the game is very low. And when the intention is very low, it's not more learning than you think. So the intention must be high, because you learn when your intention and the purpose is great. So 2 against 1, keeper, defender, 2 attackers, then you make a goal for the defenders. What kind of goal? You must decide. It can be a goal with no keeper, they can score at once, and then they go again, and then they go again. So that's very important. That's always futsal, always, because the intention of playing. There must be a lot of repetition. We know from education that repetition is very important. Yes, repetition helps you, and then repetition in maybe in all kinds of things, also on other surveys. That's very important. No long, no, not a lot of people standing. Good planning, good organization, good material, and enough balls. That's very important. So you have always a good repetition, a lot of repetition. So you must think about how am I going to organize this. You must take into account the group. You must think about age. You cannot say when players are too young, play together, because they don't play together. They have not in their brains sitting that. You can scream it, but they don't do it. And you can be, then you maybe say, why are you not going to cooperate? Because they don't know, because it's not in their age. The level, you see, you must always take the level from what am I going to do? What level is it? Is it in the good group? Can I make it easier? Can I make it more difficult? The quality is very important. And experience, with ervaring, more players have to need experience. Right coaching. So you must influence the player. So you must think about, what am I going to say to the player when I say stop, freeze, and then you must not tell him what to do. You must not give him the answers. You must ask him. You must tell questions. What are you doing? And then you make a question. Was that the right moment to play the ball? And then he gives the answer. What could you do? What was another opportunity? So he must think. He must have his brains. He must make And when you are putting questions, they become more creative. Decisions must be right, and that's very important. That's the way you can influence the players. But when you tell the player what to do, you influence the player on one way, what you want, not his thinking, not his development. It's your developing. So then you must give, zeg maar, put questions. That's very important. That are golden rules for us. So when we are training, it must be futsal real. It must a lot of repetition. You must do the good things in the age. You saw the process what I gave you from all the ages, and you must be the right guy. You must tell a lot of you. You must tell a lot of you and not tell a few of lot. So that's the difference. You must tell a lot of you and not a few of lot. So I think that's very important. A coach has 4 qualities, a futsal trainer coach. He has to structure, he has to stimulate, he has to give the individual attention, and he has to transfer control. So that are the qualities of a futsal trainer. So you must make structure. And that's one of the most important things. You must tell what players have to do. The structure is more than you say, what are the appointments? We have appointments about practical. There's what's the organization? When you have shoot, you walk on that way back. When you have dribbled and you have shoot, you walk on that way back. You started when the keeper throws the ball, and so you can go on. Those are practical appointments, futsal appointments. Is what are we going to do with futsal? We always play right. Futsal appointments are also from what's the game? What do we in front of the game? What do we while the game? What do we at last of the game? Material appointments. Who is responsibility is that the balls are in the hall? Is that the responsibility of the team? Is that the responsibility of the trainer? Is that the responsibility of the group? You may desist. We do. The players are responsible for the material. That's the team. They must train. They must become better. So they have also take the material with them. Not the trainers. He's doing all because or other people. People has to learn to be responsible. Behavior. We every time when we come on the training, we do always. And the player is giving us a hand, and nowadays it's a box. So he comes in, he walks to you as a hello trainer. So when I come in, I give all the players a box. So I always have done that. I was the first one in the hall. So I have not to box one player, all the players, they box me. And then you can ask them something, how is it? Have you had a good travel? Have you had a good time? Are you okay? Have you can about behavior. After the game, all the players give the other players from the other team a hand. That's what you can do. That's behavior appointments. You make the appointments, not I, but you must, appointments are arranged and addressed. So you must always have that you say, I like it, you do it very good. We have always the materials on time, very good, and I see everybody is doing it. You can always say, oh, I'm looking now 4 weeks and I see always the same people. How is it possible that the same people always doing the balls, doing the coins, doing the to make it easy in the head of everybody so they know what is going to do. Stimulate. That's very important. Compliments and positive encouragement. We believe in it. We have a lot of research and we see that people who have compliments and positive encouragement they will developing faster. They will remember better. Nominate and reward testable behavior. Do not give a lot of attention to faults. That was in the beginning. You know what Johan Cruyff said, they have to make faults. They can make faults. They must learn. Mistakes are there for learning. And look out for criticism in the group. So the group is going to have a lot of talking. So you must look very good to if there is no criticism in the group. Stimulate is very important. Individual attention. Everybody likes it when there is individual attention. Every player is important, not the best players, not the bad players. Every player is very important. And every player must say, hey, he knows me. He knows my name. Hey, he can tell me something. Hey, he helps me. So that's very important. Individual attention, everybody likes it, also me. One size fits all. Well, that you must not do the same tailor-made. Some players like to be like to have special attention, so you must be tailor-made. Chat with players regularly, and you have not always played to talk about futsal. Other things are also. So you must know your player. So we call it a holistic method. Appreciate different. Dus waardeer verschil. There is difference. And think about how players you can help. Very important, very difficult for a coach. I can tell from my situation, when I was coach of the women team, the players, I give the game, I give some picture, some video from the opponent, and I ask little groups to make and to tell me to make how we're going to defend and how we are going to attack. So I let the player think. I have the questions. I was the coach, and they must decision. What are we going to do? Are we going to ball very fast, or are we going to defend a little lower? So they must understand. They are responsible. It is their team. They give and then we talk and we have questions and ask the players what they like, what are the risks, so they must think about it all the way. And we often, we don't, I was not always decided by the team. Sometimes I said, we are going to do what the players want. And then you see intention is high, they want it, they like it, they want to develop. And that's why I do it. So, Geoffrey, I think it's time. Geoffrey is away.
No, I'm right here. So I want to say thank you very much, Marius. But before you go, Marius, I just have a quick poll that I would like our coaches to answer. So I'm just going to launch the poll now. So yeah. Just coaches, can you just please tell me? So the question is, as a coach, will you be incorporating futsal into your future training club or academy programs? So persons, can you just continue to vote accordingly? And while that is happening, Marius, there were a couple of questions that we did not answer. If it is, you may just give time to that. Going back to Mr. Sheldon Seals. In terms of the youth competitions and leagues, mostly associated with academies, clubs, were they, associated with academies, clubs, schools, communities, or a mixture of all?
We have, that's why it's different. We have the competition made by the association, and you must be a sport club to do it. Not an academy cannot do the competition. We have what we did was on certain moment we have school competition. and that was possible. That was cooperate with the with education. So we get schools, and there we cooperated with, but it are not sport clubs. We hoped that the players from the clubs want invited players from the schools to come there. So, but that was not. That's very difficult to do that. We have sport clubs. We have not altogether. But maybe between that is we organize the competition. So the clubs have teams.
I want to say thank you very much for that, Marius. So on behalf of the Futsal Association of Trinidad and Tobago, Marius, we wish you and your family continuous blessings. Thank you for taking this, Sunday morning for us, Sunday afternoon for you to spend with us and be able to give us this great information to help build futsal in Trinidad and Tobago. So thank you very much, Marius. On behalf of the Futsal Association of Trinidad and Tobago, guys, I want to say thank you very much for attending this session. And I just want to have a few things to share with you all, because based on the poll, 100% of the participants would have said they are going to incorporate futsal into their future programs for their clubs and their academies. With that being said, we ask you all to feel free to contact us, whether it be by email, which is futsaltt@gmail.com, or by phone call. You could call me directly, Geoffrey Edwards, the president of the Futsal Association. My number is 78-SPORT. That is 787-7678. I'm going to put it in the chat right now, whereby we can have fruitful discussions as regards to how it is we can assist you to be able to incorporate futsal into your clubs and your academies, noting that the Futsal Association of Trinidad and Tobago has a strategic plan which includes player development and also in terms of sustainable development of the sport of futsal in Trinidad and Tobago. With that being said, we also want you all to take the time to follow us on social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and we have our own YouTube channel. You can find us at the handle Futsal868. And more so in terms of our YouTube channel, we have a lot of information when it comes to futsal across the world, where we interview persons from across the world, as well as other social issues that directly deal with sport. For this evening on Futsal 868 Corner Talks, we are going to discuss anti-doping, which is the last part of our 4-part series as regards to Jeux Olympiques sports, the Olympic Games. Lastly, we ask that you all continue to practice the 3 Ws: wash your hands, wear your mask properly, and watch your distance. So on behalf of the Futsal Association of Trinidad and Tobago, have a great Sunday afternoon, guys. Enjoy your football this evening, be safe, and most importantly, have a great and healthy Sunday lunch. So until we see you again, be blessed. Bye-bye.
Bye. Warren.
Yeah, bye. Yeah, Daniel.
Hi.
Hi.
This is Denise.
Yeah, Denise.
From today's lesson, will you be able to share it with us? Or
yes, it will be on our YouTube channel by tomorrow. It will be on our YouTube channel, so you can check it out on our YouTube channel.
All right, then. Thanks.
You're welcome. Be safe.
All right. You too. Okay.